Hi guys, Andreas Sonic Mainliner with yet another video. I am not saying that it's going to be a Vinyl Finds video because I'm not entirely sure, although the title will say what it's going to be about. Reason is that last time I was explaining that I have quite a big stack of records that I have accumulated since November, and I haven't been very regular with my updates. So I'll do the same thing I did last time. I have a random number generator, and whatever it comes up with, I will just show. So last time we had 4 stacks, so 1, 2, 3 and 4, 4 being the now playing stack, but I thought about it again, and number 2 is a little bit too big. So I split it between 2 segments basically. So we have 5 in total. Yes, 5. Correct. So random number generator. There you go. So oh yeah, didn't say what I'm gonna be showing, right? Right. So it's going to be 1 next. Cannot see them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 being the now playing. Oh, by the way, now playing, because I'm putting science into Vinyl Find videos. We're listening to the Scientists. This is not a new album. Well, not a new album in general. It was released in 1980. I want to say 3, maybe. God damn. I don't know. When was it released? Fuck's sake. Anyway, Australian band. Oh, what am I saying here? Hang on. 83, I remember correctly. Wow, I'm amazed. Yeah, okay. This is probably one of the. This is the best one. Scientists, Australian, punky kind of. I don't know. It's like pure rock and roll though. It's an amazing record. Amazing record. Fantastic. Anyway, enough of that. You're here for the record show. As I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 being the now playing. So let's see. 5 now playing. So yeah, I'm listening to this, which was in my now playing stack. Honestly, it was the last record I pulled out and I listened to. So now playing stack, yeah. It's a big stack. Yeah. Some things that you've seen, some things that you have. Damn it. Yep. Right. So what have we got here? Okay. Right. Okay, cool. Low. The Great Destroyer. This came out like 3-4 records back. Yeah, 2005. I think it's like 3-4 records back. This is Low. Obviously, Low are US band. I don't remember from where they are. They're very minimal. So it's like they have a snare drum, bass, and guitar, and it's supposedly like slowcore kind of thing. They have amazing melodies though. Their first records are really slow and sort of painfully, like the songs are like really painfully, sort of glacially, I should say, like progressing, but they're really good. If you get into them, they're really good. This one though is them doing a little bit more of an indie rock kind of impersonation, if I should say. But still, it's a little bit more upbeat than most of the things that they've done, and I think that people don't rate this album as much as other ones, but it's very, very good. I really like Low. I really like Low. And one of the things that potentially people might have overlooked is the compilation of rarities that they've done, which is, it's a CD only one, and it's like 3 CDs, and that's perhaps why it's CD only, because it's tons of music. It would be like 6 LPs or something, and it's really good start to finish. It could have been like, they could have broken it up and sold it as like volume 1, volume 2, and be like regular albums, and it's just amazing. The opening song from that comp is devastatingly good. It's just amazing. Yeah, I got my cheapo copy of Rainbow Rainbow. It's not in rainbows. This is a moon-shaped pole from Radiohead. Yeah, it's just bloody amazing, and it's such an amazing record. I mean, yeah, words sort of fail me, and I remember that when it came out, one of the first people to show this was who was it? I remember what they said, but I can't remember who it was. Oh, Dr. Strangely Strange. And he said that, oh, well, you know, Radiohead, they have found the formula, and they're doing the formula, and it's like, you know, it's like, yeah. And sort of thought about it, and I recalled the first time that I actually listened to the album, and it was a really funny feeling, because I listened to it and it was as if I knew it. It was very familiar to me, although it was a new album. I've never heard of it. And yes, it does make sense. Yes, there is a formula to it, and yes, it's like, but it's familiar in a very, very good sense. It's like familiar, like, you know, the food that, you know, your mom makes when you come back home. You know what I mean? It's that kind of familiar, and it's like really comforting and really like sort of reassuring. Everything's fine with the world. You know, Radiohead have put out an album, and it's just how I expected it to be, but really, really good. So yeah, hang on, need to change side B because it's a short album. It's an EP basically. So there you go. Yeah. Oh. Then I, for whatever reason, it suddenly had this urge to listen to Nick Cave's latest album, Skeleton Tree. I forgot the name, which is yeah, it's still like a back end, which is a chore with this album, because I don't know, for whatever reason, it sort of it's oversized, but yet it doesn't fit. How did they manage to do that? I have no idea. Come on, bastard. Damn it. Oversized and doesn't fit. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's really shiny as well. I mean, not the shrink wrap, obviously. I mean, the inside is just really nice. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, when I first listened to it, I was like, man, it's alright. Then I bought it, I listened to it again, and I was like, yeah, it's good. But then suddenly I got an urge to actually listen to it, and I pulled it out, and man, this is good. It is heavy, because as you know the story, you know, his son died, and this is like the album he made after his son died, and what would you expect? I mean, yeah, but yeah, Rings of Saturn, it's just yeah, it's fucking good song, fucking good album. Then I went to my psychedelic sort of stack, and I pulled out something that I hadn't listened to in many years, I guess. Mystic Shiva. I don't remember the story of these guys. This is a reissue on Klimt. I do remember that I have it comes in this sort of annoyingly annoying sort of cover. So it's gatefold, but it's not entirely gatefold. I think, if I remember correctly, these guys were French. Mystic Shiva. I cannot remember. A really nice psych, loads of organ and whatnot, and it's a nice album. It's not groundbreaking or anything. It's not like, you know, the bee's knees or whatnot, but it's quite good. Yeah, what can I say? Miles Davis, Dark Magus, from his sort of electric period. Now, this is really funny because I was having a conversation with somebody on YouTube, and I was saying that, well, I don't like fusion. It's like, what, you don't like Miles Davis, you know, live at the Fillmore East and Agartha and this one, and it's like, yeah, I do like these. Are these fusion? Apparently it's classified as fusion. I don't know. This is like more like psychedelic rock to me than anything else. This is obviously, as you have seen, it's the For Men with Beards reissue, and I don't know why this label has been so vilified in the vinyl community, and, you know, with vinyl enthusiasts. It's like, oh, this is horrible, this is terrible, it's like, where do they source their material, and pressing is blah, blah, blah. It sounds really good, and the pressing is quiet, and I really like the fact that they use heavy sleeves, and it's like, you know, it's like there's a heft to the album, and the album itself, the music of this album has a lot of heft as well. So it's obviously, I would love to have an original, but there you have it, you know. Picked up from the shelves because most of these are from the shelves. They're not like new stuff. There are some new stuff, but yeah, I bought this like a couple of years ago. Keith Hudson, Flesh of My Skin, Blood of My Blood. Sort of classic dubby reggae kind of thing, dubby reggae, but blah, whatever. Yeah, and yeah, it's absolutely classic. I wouldn't say that I was mega sort of enthusiastic about it. It's a good album, and it's one that, you know, it's like, you know, you should, if you have it on your shelves, then maybe you should keep it because it's quite good. But yeah, it's good. Yeah. That's it. Zuma, this is one of the recent-ish sort of purchases. I have a copy of this back home that was, I don't know, I think I've said it already. I think it's original, maybe like second repress or whatever, which is like white, whereas this is like cream colored. And yeah, the white ones, you cannot find a single one that is not smudged somehow. That's a problem with white albums. It's like they get trashed easily. This is released from Neil Young's own label, so see? Yeah, and Neil Young Archives, and sounds brilliant. Pressing is fantastic. Nice thick sleeves. I mean, you cannot complain. And it's Zuma. It's, what can I say? Cortez the Killer, right? Okay, right. Enough said. Something very classic indeed. This is the Monks, Black Time, and this is, I think it's their only album of the Monks. Americans that were they were GIs. They were based in Germany, and they sort of decided to make a band, and they shaved their heads in like cappuccino monks, and they just yeah, they made rock and roll music. Now this is absolutely classic. I mean, you will read that it's like, oh, it's amazing, blah blah blah, whatever, but I don't know, I'm not entirely sold on it for whatever reason. Don't know. This is a sort of regular reissue of Universal Music. As you can see, Special Markets came out in 2011. There is a much more lavish version of this from Lita, so Light in the Attic, so yeah. White Stripes, yeah. So this is, oh, this is their second album, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, it has some of my favorite songs from them. I really like Death Letter for whatever reason. I know that it has like pretty good looking for a girl, Hello Operator kind of thing. What else have they got? Yeah, but I like Death Letter for what? Yeah, I think Death Letter is like the bomb. Here is another album that I sort of picked from the shelves, from the jazz part of the shelves. This is a reissue that came out, I want to say like, I don't have to say like, it came out in 2015, and it's on Universal Sound reissues, which is a really, really nice reissue, very nicely made for UK pressings, because it has like really thick sleeves, which just never happens. And this is Lloyd McNeil Tanner Suite, and it's so it's drums and flute. What is it? Not flute. What am I saying? Just a flute, isn't it? Sorry, I listened to it and I forget what it sounds like. Yeah, originally 1969, 1,000 copies, blah blah blah. Flautist, yeah, it's a flute, and I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, it's very spiritual, and it's just really, 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 really nice. Very nice. Very nice release, very nice pressing, very nice music. If you see it, pick it up. I have no idea if it's still available. I have no idea if it's expensive now. I have no idea about anything. I don't know anything really. I just, buy shit and like show it here. Which is the truth. I mean, who knows everything? So I was when I was listening to Mystic Shiva, I also picked up some other stuff from that area, because I have my European Psych there, and I picked up this one, which is Hydrus. This is a Wawa reissue of the 1978. Yeah, French prog, psych, whatnot. This is really good. This is a really good album. I really, really liked this one. The next one is an interesting one because it's Philippe Besson, and it's Libra, and it's a soundtrack to a film. Yeah, a soundtrack to a film. Yeah, what else would it be? I mean, would it be a soundtrack to I don't know, TV ad? Nah, it wouldn't make an album, would it? It's from a film, so it's a little bit. There are film soundtracks that are really, really good. There's like more continuity, and there's like longer songs and whatnot. But this one is a little bit hit and miss, in my opinion. It's not that good. I don't know. I mean, I'm not entirely sold on it. So, the question here is, what do I put next? Not what do I show next, but what do I put next? Which is an interesting question. 19 minutes. I don't know. Maybe we'll stay on silent, and you can hear my voice, and you don't get any distraction. I don't know about you guys, but usually I listen to music when I watch videos, and it is a bit distracting because there's music in the video, there is a guy talking, and there is music that I'm playing, which is like my brain is like, whoa, does not compute. So I don't know. Maybe this works better. I picked it up from the metal shelves. Mayhem, the Mysterious Dom Satanas. Yes, absolutely classic sort of black metal, proto-black metal. Mayhem were the band that sort of, well, I want to say, don't want to say started it, but it's one of the infamous sort of bands from, from Scandinavia, where they were burning churches and all that, and Euronymous was the person that was sort of in charge of, well, in charge. I mean, you hear different stories from different people, but yeah, he was like sort of a leading figure in that sort of scene. So yeah, he was murdered by um, Varg from Burzum a few years later. Anyway, classic. This is one of their fairly recent purchases, Windhand, their first album on Forcefield Records, and this is the first pressing, which is non-colored one, and for whatever reason it's still very cheap, although it is like 500 copies or something, and it has sold out like long time ago and has been reissued I don't know how many times. uh, one of my favorite albums like in the last year or so, Eternal Champion, yeah, the Armor of Ire, and yeah, this is the final press, and this is the 100 copies red version, and yeah, the guy has a tash and he's cool, and this is a really cool metal album, and it's just, yeah, nothing else to say. This is an interesting one. This is this is a Greek album. This is a compilation. It's called, I will say it in Greek, Διατάραξη κοινής ησυχίας, which means disturbing the peace, basically. And this is a punk compilation from the 80s, when it was like really original and it was like really, really underground kind of thing. And this is a reissue, unfortunately. I wish I had an original. This is, yeah, it has been reissued, and yeah, it's just classic. Yeah, Greeks are really good with punk. I don't know why. Maybe there's like, maybe punk is like black metal, where it sort of works regardless of your background, and Greeks cannot do indie music well. I don't think that they can play indie. Indie is like is the reserve of Americans, and to a lesser degree, in my opinion, because I was more sort of, I had a preference to US bands, and less to the UK one. So the UK indie scene was good, but the US one was much better. So indie is more like English speaking people. Punk, on the other hand, I think works for everyone for whatever reason. It's quite interesting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, somebody should look into it somehow. Absolute classic. We are changing the scene here. Absolute classic, and just start to finish, brilliant album. Yeah, there you go. Grace Jones. Yeah, Night Clubbing. I am really confused with her discography. There's like a lot of repetition in the songs that in the releases. So in here there are songs that are also in Island Life. I think that some of them, I don't know, I'm confused. Anyway, this is the bomb. All right, okay, yeah, yeah, no, no, exactly. So enough. I said all that needs to be said. Yeah. So this is from the Nurse with Wound list. It has been shown many times, and is supposedly a scary album. So this is Como's first utterance. Came out in 1968, I want to say. Oh no, sorry, 78, 71. And it's sort of proggy, and it's sort of very atmospheric and very sort of spooky kind of thing. Sort of spooky and supposed to be like really scary and whatnot. I'm not entirely sold on it, but I'm holding on to this because, you know, I like to collect stuff that are interesting, and it is an interesting album. Now, your mileage will vary, but you know, you never know. It's a classic. What can I say? Uh, Another classic. In this case, though, I do like this album. So King Crimson, yeah. Ah. Maybe I can make a thumbnail. I just thought about it. Like, I don't know how it looks like. Maybe it's ridiculous. Maybe it won't be the thumbnail. Anyway, in the Court of the Crimson King, and yeah. Should I say something about this? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. This is the official sort of reissue, well, official reissue, 200 gram, blah blah blah, remastered by Robert Fripp and yada yada yada, and sounds really good. I don't have an original to compare it with, but it sounds really good, and it's a fucking brilliant album, and yeah, it's that's all I have to say. 26 minutes. Should I carry on? Well, there's a couple of them. There's a still. Oh, no. Okay. Now there's some David Bowie here, which is like sort of. It's not in the stack really. It's like I don't know why. I don't know. My David Bowie ones are like. I've had them for a long time. I listen to them a lot, so yeah, it's they sort of jump from stack to stack. They haven't found a home yet. Anyway, I'll show you this one, which is the last one I'm going to show, which is a little bit it's an interesting one, and you should give it a listen. But when I first listened to it, I really liked it, and I remember liking it when I actually bought it. But now that I listen to it again, I'm not entirely sure. So this is Dreaming of the Magic, Dreaming of the Magic of your Maya, Princess Flower and the Moon Rays. Now, 1968 psychedelic raga freak out, yada yada yada, according to the hype sticker. And I don't remember a lot of these. I don't remember the background, but yeah, it's yeah, it was reissued on Wawa Records in 2012, so 5 years ago. It was a bit of an expensive album as well. It's double LP. I've listened to the first LP, and it was like a little bit hippie kind of music, which I'm not entirely sold on it. I don't know. I will give it another go. Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe I should have listened to something heavy when I listened to this one instead of this. Who knows? Who knows? It's music is all about perception, and you might, you know, something might not gel, and then you listen to it, and it's like, whoa, yeah, now I get it. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. So yeah, that's my now listening stack, and yeah, I mean, I guess that you know, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment if you want. Like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. Somebody disliked my last video. You disliked my video, and I don't take kindly to this kind of stuff. So you watch out. You watch out. You know who you are. I know who you are. I don't know who you are. I don't care. Dislike it. Subscribe if you're interested in this kind of shit, and unsubscribe if you think this is complete rubbish. And I will try to make vinyl finds video next week sometime, and yeah, we'll see you all then. Cheers.